I wonder if I can change that voice. It always sounds so. Like on ChatGPT, you can have this, have these different voices. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we're going to. Well, I suppose the idea is sort of about getting more clients, really. So I'm heavily into and focused into selling products. I just love making money when I'm doing that. When I'm doing other things, just tickles me pink every time, all day, every day. Just get money coming in and all that. But also getting clients is great. So the combination of both. So if you, I'm just going to run through it. It's a tiny presentation. We'll see how we go. See if it works.
Perfect. Thank you.
And we'll go from there. Let's have a look. Because I'm a really strong advocate of Facebook ads.
Okay.
Because I want consistency and I want to know, I just set up a bunch of Facebook ads running now. I know they're going to deliver and make money. I know eventually that will lead to a client. I do not want to have to sit on social media. So it's always a combination. And I think for me, it's about 70% ads, 30% social media.
Okay.
So let's just go through that. It's not going to take long, just me and yourself. But there you go. Ask any questions, whatever it is. Let's share the screen. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the goal is, this kind of conversation on how to get clients and income with guaranteed success. And the key is kind of guaranteed.
Yeah.
And this is where having systems and in particular Facebook ads or meta ads, whatever you want to call them, really comes into play because they are so thorough and so complex with AI that when set up correctly and monitored over time, you are guaranteed to make money. It's just you'd have to really not pay any attention to muck it up. So you can use that for clients and also products. And I like a combination of both. I love doing the one-to-one stuff, like doing the group stuff. But my favorite is working with clients that I enjoy working with, but also getting paid when I'm, so if I don't want to see clients, I don't have to see
the money's still coming in.
The money's still coming in. Like we're going to watch England play football, and I will make sales while England's playing football, or playing golf or whatever it is. So, but the key is that because the algorithms of social media, kind of the, posting, if you like, are just not as thorough. They're actually they work against you because they're always trying to kind of throttle you back to post more. That often the only way you're either going to pay with time or you're going to pay with money. And at the end of the day, I'm happy to pay with money. I would love to spend $1 million a month on ads because if I did that and worked up to that, the most I paid a month is €7,000. But we knew we were going to make the money, so it wasn't an issue. So it's never about the money you're spending.
Yeah,
it's about the systems that you're getting out of it. So it's good, if one can afford, one wants to put their prices up. That's really the easiest way to do that.
Yeah.
So let's have a look here. So the goal is to, remember, we're coming back to this word guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed, which is to create a system, use the system, and manage the system. And this is where everyone falls down because I see it every single day. People who come into my programs or other people's programs, and over time they slip. They start putting stuff in there that is just confusing.
Yeah.
And people just don't know what to think about it. And they don't have ads running in the background to kind of keep the leads coming through. And it really causes problems. And essentially, it just causes the business to kind of slowly but surely change direction and get less efficient and less guaranteed. Then what a person tends to do is to try something new.
Yeah.
And because of that, they then have to start afresh. But they do exactly the same thing. The goal for me, and I say anybody who's watching this, is to have one system. Get one system working for you, and then because what most people do is they don't take long enough to work out the system before they jump off. What they do is they jump off way too quickly. So we need roadmaps. So there's a roadmap to this is actually a roadmap out of another membership thing to 10K, which is you just do this in this particular order, and you just keep doing it. And if you just keep doing it, you will eventually, with effort, make money, guaranteed. So this is an example of a system that I have. This is something called Guru, which is guru.com, GERU.com. Nothing to do with me, but what it allows me to do, allows us to do, and they do special offers all over the place. So if anyone's, look, if anyone's thinking of doing this, type in guru.com coupon, right? And you get like 50% off or whatever it is.
Is this like a CRM system,
Yeah.
David? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a system. If you see on the right here, that what you do is you put your products in, like how much you're making from them. You put your traffic sources in and the expenses, and then you simulate it. And what happens is it tells you if you're going to make or lose money.
Okay.
So you just play around with the prices. It allows you to lay it all out, which is cool, and kind of where it's going and all that kind of stuff. So you can so what I tend to do is I will go into here first, and I will create what I think is the system. I do this for everyone, myself and clients, what I think the system is, and then I'll put the prices in, like how much are we charging, how much does it cost for a lead, what are the average conversion rates, and all these are in this simulation bit here, all automatically. You can override them, whatever. But sometimes people put stuff in, and it's just that they're not getting a low enough kind of cost on the ads, but mostly it's because they're not charging enough on the back end. And that's usually the problem. But that's why memberships are cool, because you've got this kind of recurring income.
Yeah.
So when you click simulate, what it does is it tells you if you're going to be losing or making money, which is cool. I mean, at the minute I've got let me just see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I've got it up. I'm more organized than I thought I was. So this is a podcast product I've just started to sell. So this is a product, but these people can turn into clients as well, obviously. But the goal is so this is a sales funnel. So I run ads to this, track. This is the way you guarantee success. Track like each page and see the conversions on each design. Track the design here as well. Then make offers. So this one converts 5% better than this one, which over time adds up to a lot of money. And then check out upsells and downsells. So I run ads to this, and this is now starting to be profitable. So it doesn't cost me anything for a lead, and I get paid. So the next step is, how do I then if I could shove $1 million into this and make money, I would. It makes sense.
Yeah.
As long as everything converts. So from there, this is a low ticket offer, but once somebody's bought that, they're much more likely to become a client. And sometimes I say, if you buy this and you end up on a one-to-one with me, I'll reimburse them. Okay. So that's an example. I know people are interested in podcasting. I've got a podcast with about 56,000 downloads, something like that. I make money from that. And let's make a product out of it. So which is what obviously you can do, anyone can do. Take a part of what you're doing and create a product. Because this is what they call a self-liquidating offer, in that I don't have to pay for ads because I have this upsell in this system. I can, at the minute, look at scaling this, not unlimited, because it will drop off at certain. So my only job is to manage these conversions. And once I start to make money, I put this up by a couple of dollars. I put this up by a couple of dollars, and then I start to see kind of what happens. Okay, so that's a system, and then the back end of that, you could obviously, once they've seen a really good product, so somebody buys from you, they're more likely to buy again.
Yeah.
So this starts at $4.67, which is a weird number on purpose, because it's a weird number and it gets people's attention.
Yeah.
And then these upsells go up to about $40, something like that. So the way this helps us is, because if I can then have this funnel with this very small product, I can then scale and keep putting money, and then on the back end, I can invite them to be a client, and I would have on the back end of this another funnel, which would be a client acquisition funnel, basically. But it would cost me no money to get clients, basically. So that's the type of thing I would suggest everybody does. And so on here, I mapped that out. I haven't got it up here, but in Guru, I've mapped that out and made sure that I know I can make money, and then we go from there. So that guarantees me a bigger and ever-growing audience, which is what it is. So ads and content. So what tends to happen is if people see your social media content, they tend to trust you more. rather than going straight for an ad, right? Which is kind of understandable.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about putting up relevant content on social. As anybody knows me, I don't like social media. I've got so many better things to do with my life. But I do recognize the trust element of it. And therefore 30% on social media, and then 70% of my effort goes on ads, basically. If I put up 2 or 3 things a week on social media that are the right things, then I can run the rest with ads,
Mm.
as long as I've got an effective system. What a lot of people do is they don't have a system, and when they have a system, they don't test it or manage it, and then they fall back on sitting on the computer all day trying to come up with memes and social media content, and still really getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Been there.
And sorry, David, that
Go on.
social media that you're doing, is that stuff that you've set to go out, or do you do that ad hoc, or is it something that you?
I tend to do it ad hoc. I tend to do it at the start, the middle, and the end of the week, because for me, I want to be authentic. So I want to be able to. So maybe from this conversation, and maybe from something you say, or just me noting something, I would create a post, and I'll put this in the group. I will send this out to my email list that is growing, all that kind of stuff. So what happens is then some of it will go on social. I would count YouTube as social media.
Yeah.
YouTube, and then Facebook, and I'll do something on TikTok if it, because I've got a couple of accounts on there. But you don't need too much, over time. If you've got, I know people who have got, say, 20, only 20 videos on YouTube, and that's kind of enough. It covers what they do, and they just send those out to new people. Here's 20 videos, and that's cool. So ads and content, it's up to us. I know many people who love doing social media. They are social creatures. I'm kind of a social creature, but I'm kind of not. I'd prefer to be social in the real world.
Yeah, me too.
And also like this, actually talking to somebody is much better.
Yeah.
So I would say, decide what you want to do. For me, excuse me, my attention is, it's probably 80% on ads, to be honest, because they're guaranteed. Because what ads give you is there's no guesswork.
Yeah.
It's totally relatable, scalable, and it's just maths at the end of the day. So I can work that, and I can do that wherever I like. I've got my little laptop that I take, my little Mac here. I take around, just been to Ireland, so took that, was able to manage my ads there, put it away, hour a day, and I'm still making money, and that's the end of it. Right? And then the focus is, if I want clients, I'm going to charge them a bit more, money. So because I'm not reliant on them. That's the kind of key to it. So. Okay, so content without the stress, because I just think we're on our phones so much, and God, it's just awful. We're on our phones so much. We've got so many notifications. It's like you don't have to have that fundamentally. Why you build content is simply to build trust. No, there's no other reason to do it. A lot of people do it to get attention, because that's how they want to get attention, for whatever their individual reason is. I can understand that on an emotional level, but I also just think it's such a waste, when you could be doing other things. So don't do it just for attention, unless you want to. If you want to do it for business, just think, is this helping me build trust? And also, people want to buy from people they like, but a little bit more than that. They want to buy, if it's like clients, which is what we're kind of talking about also, they want to buy from people that they're happy to spend time with.
Yeah.
That's why podcasts are so good, because we spend kind of a slightly separated, but I do know that I follow particular podcasts, and I'm interested in what happens next. I'm kind of, connected, if you like. So that's why I love podcasts so much, because they're easy to do. I can speak, I can get them shared out on social media using automation, and they build the trust. You can show your personality. So build trust, show your expertise, and help people like you. That's really all we should be, focused on. You do that 2 to 3 times a week, and then what will happen is somebody will see an advert, or they'll go and do something, then they'll go onto Facebook and they'll check you out. So as long as you're, being a nice person and showing some expertise or whatever, you're doing the right thing. You just do not have to be on that social media unless you want to. all the time. And then use the best platform for his skill. I'm quite good at video and voice stuff. Writing for me just takes a bit of time, and we've got AI now. My spiritual writing, I do write.
Yeah.
But I enjoy, you know, that I do, but AI, man, it's like crazy. So yeah. So, but do that, but do one that you're happy to do and keep going with, and then you bolster that with Facebook ads. That would definitely be my advice for people. There is a real thing on Facebook where people say, I earned this money without ads, right? And it's like a trophy for them, but that's not a trophy, really. There's nothing wrong with ads. I want to get that, you know, wherever, you know, with yourself and also other people, which is getting it with ads is actually much better than getting it without. Because if you can do a self-liquidating funnel of some kind where you're not paying for leads and you're posting 3 times a week, so you can do your whole social media Monday morning or Sunday for the whole week, and the rest of the week is running ads, building a list, following up with email on automation. That for me is that's the win, rather than saying, hey, we didn't use ads and we made money. Well, you're paying with time, basically, and that for me is the most important thing. So, and as we get down to the end, yeah. So the process is you're going to create content to show your expertise and be liked. That's it. You use Facebook lead ads to do the list building for you, but with one question. So, do you know what lead ads are, Kerry?
No, I don't. I've never really used Facebook ads. I use Instagram and LinkedIn more than Facebook, to be honest. So I've never really done anything with Facebook ads.
Yeah. So it's and these can be used on Instagram as well. It's all Meta, you know.
Yeah.
Essentially, what Facebook lead ads allow you to do is it allows people to put. So if they're on their phone like this, and a lead ad comes in, they just press a button, and it automatically fills out their name and their email.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that on Instagram for signing up for a webinar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, super quick. The issue with them is that they're super quick. You know what I mean? It's like people don't have to really care. Oh, yeah, all right then, you know. So the key to making lead ads work, which are the cheapest way to do things, is to ask them to put some other bit of information in, to put the effort in. So you might put, how did you find out about me? You know, it doesn't matter what the question is.
Just something that makes them kind of take notice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's your biggest issue? Oh, it's this, whatever. That the person that does that is much more likely to engage a bit further down the line. So you've got your content, so you know what your customers' problems are, what their issues are. You create content around that. Go to ChatGPT, and if somebody says, I've got a dodgy tummy, I want to learn how to juggle, I don't know what it is, you know, just get all that information in there. Get ChatGPT, AI. I started around playing with Perplexity, which is also pretty good, very good as well. You know, just get that content, just put it out 3 times a week. Don't over focus on it is my advice. Facebook lead ads with one question builds your list. So you should always have £100 a month. It's my minimum, maybe £200 a month minimum, building my email list. So that by the end of the year, if I start with nothing, by the end of the year, I'm going to have an email list of several thousand people, and that's the way to print money. So you're running your lead ads. If you want to do appointments, the easiest way to do it, if you were spending £3 a day, I'll say £5 a day, £3 a day, whatever, on Facebook ads, you put 20% of that. So your budget's £10, £2, you spend £8 on the top of the funnel, the first bit, initial bit, and you spend £2 on retargeting people. So people that fill in the details, we then create an audience in Facebook and retarget them, saying, hey, how did you, and you make it really personal. So they go, crikey, how do they know about that? How did you get on with the, I learned how to juggle in 7 days. I hope you really enjoyed chapter 4. And they're going, bloody hell, how does this person know, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know. How about making an appointment? And that's how you get the appointments, by the retargeting. People don't tend to make appointments immediately.
Yeah.
So they download the stuff, they'll have a couple of emails, and then you've got retargeting for 20% of what your budget is.
Okay.
You're going to put them into a sales funnel appointment. So when they go and they make the appointment, I use Calendly. It's the paid version, but what that allows you to do is to have an immediate text response to their phone, and also text follow-up. text reminders, email, all built in the automation with Calendly.
Yeah, Calendly is brilliant. I use Calendly as well.
It's very good because you've done all the work. So the key with any kind of system is you make each step of the system the best it can be. So you put effort into the content and creating that, so you know that's good. You put effort into creating and tracking the leads. You put effort into tracking the retargeting, and this is how you guarantee it. You just make this your world. Then with the funnel appointments, they get follow-ups and emails and all that kind of stuff, and you're following up before and after with email and text, and that is how you get clients. Yeah, but what you also do is build your list. So if 5% of people make appointments, 95% of people don't, you need a product to sell those people.
Okay, yeah.
And that is, again, that's how you create a system that's sustainable and guaranteed to work. Okay, does that all make sense?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And the thing is, I would say, is don't make it any more complicated than that. Don't make it any complicated. So yeah, create a simple system combined with social media and Facebook ads. What's that? Oh yeah, put that. Yeah, if people want us to create Facebook ads, set up all the Facebook ads bit, then we can do that. Let us know. But essentially, it will be, the goal will be to help people create a system like this, basically, or the area that they struggle in.
Yeah,
which is mostly Facebook ads. A lot of people. Okay.
Yeah, I think that kind of the area, I think that is it. And I think I like the retargeting, and then obviously selling a product. It's easy to get people into appointments, but then you're missing, as you said, those people who are not making appointments.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where I've made the products. I'm not very good at the upsells and downsells and cross sells, and that's something that I just need to work on, because you see that all the time, and you see how effective it is. Well, obviously we all go, that's how we get onto lists, so it's obviously effective, and it's getting that working.
Well, 30%, let me show you here, which is the funnel I started. I've got others called a high ticket marketing system that's also working really well as well. But if you have a look here, if you look at this, the sales, there's 31.
I saw that.
This is so I've made £200 from the $4.69 product, 67, but I've also made 289, almost. I've made more from this because these are higher priced products.
Yeah.
And and the key is to just find things that people really want. These webinar templates, which are really excellent, they sell, because now I've been selling them for long enough. I have these in every single upsell.
Okay.
Because everyone buys them.
Yeah.
If I was going to and people love scripts, templates. So over time, what happens is you sell this here at a low price, and then you start making more money here on the back end. But the key, as you mentioned, is to have. So that's why people need a system. The key is to recognize that if one does want to guarantee success, they're the elements. There's not that many of them, really. It's just people are overwhelmed. I understand.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the problem, and I think what I personally have realized, I think also, is that there's so many people offering to help you with your marketing and your systems, and you follow so many people, and that's exactly like you say, is you follow one system and it doesn't work, then you follow someone else and that doesn't work, and then you're ending up and you're like, okay, I don't know where to go next. So I've like, okay, I'm only going to follow one person and that's it, and I'm going to implement what they tell me to do, and when that works, then that works. And that's what I tell my clients all the time. If you work with me, don't work with someone else, because you're just going to get confused. If you want to go and work with them, but don't work with all of us. And we fall into the same trap, don't we? So
we do. And the thing is, fundamentally, it will always be the same things. If you've got an advert running, so if your social media nobody's clicking, you need to change your social media and focus on the pain points.
Yeah,
that's really it, right? That's not brain surgery. And if you do an ad and nobody clicks on it, you've got to change the image. So that's not brain surgery. And if they land on your landing page and they're not signing up, you change the text on your landing page.
Yeah.
And that's really it. You can't, that is all there is. The challenge is that we're just overwhelmed with information about what to do. And that's why I come back to all the time. That's why we do the funnel system, which is I just need to get, my world needs to be that funnel system in that business. and I'm not going to go outside of that. And as I start then to make money, then I'm just going to grow that. So the goal is to say, right, I'm going to make 100,000 out of this project. I won't make 100 grand out of that on the front end, not for a while anyway. But I'm making 100 grand out of this project, and I'm not going to do anything else until I get 100 grand. If one thinks that it's possible, so that's the way to do it. Jumping around it's the killer.
Yeah, it doesn't work for anybody in any industry.
No.
And that's the crazy thing, is we tell our clients that, but then we do the same thing, don't we? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's you know, but I mean, I can remember going online in 1997, and it's the same stuff. Build your email list. A guy told me in 1997, you know, when I started going on all these courses, you know, when they were, you know, build your email list, and I went, oh yeah, you know, it's the key. It's the key to the kingdom. It's really, if you're going to focus on anything, it's the thing to do. Get an email list, and if you can get them to buy something at the front end, so it doesn't cost you anything, which is a self-liquidating funnel, self-liquidating system, it's like people don't know what they've got, right? Because they haven't. One of the most fun things was selling to hypnotherapists. What was it? Oh, it was scripts of some. It was a particular script that somebody used that was really good, and it was a really good script, you know. And we created an email list, and we just put an email out for 3 days and made like 4.5 grand. Do you know what I mean? Which again isn't a huge amount of money. I mean, one-to-one client for me is like 3.5, 4 grand, you know. But what fun! Do you know what I mean? It's like, just do that again.
Yeah.
It's great. Get another however many people with your ads. Just do that again the next month, or every 2 months, whatever, you know, and then get another product. So that's the most fun.
Yeah.
It's the most interesting. So have you got, does that all make sense?
Yeah, that all makes sense. And that sounds good to me, because that's exactly where I'm going. I'm trying to move away from the one-to-one, exactly that, so that we can travel more and have stuff online, and then do the one-to-one when it, you know, when I'm in the UK, I'll do the one-to-one. Otherwise, the rest of the time I want to either be online or not online at all. The least, I'm exactly like you, the least I'm on social media and my phone, the better. So
I think you can, there's no doubt you can make a living. Anyone can make a living at an hour a day, an hour every other day, 2 hours every other day. Because so I've got 4 sets of ads running. I know my business is building. I mean, I know people are buying that, so I don't have to even engage with that. Go off, and then if I want to, if I have a client or I'm setting up whatever it is, I can schedule that. I never have a meeting on a Monday, and I know I only do stuff I really want to do on Friday. Other than that, I just kind of make my own hours, but that's only because of ads.
You
know, if we didn't have ads, I'd be forced to sit on a bloody computer and my phone, which would just be awful.
And I think it is exactly like that, as you said, is making those systems and processes that work for you and getting to the point where they are working and you know what works, and then it's a lot easier to replicate it.
Yeah, but and then it's starting with the end in mind. So if you say, right, my goal is 5 grand a month, 2 grand a month, 10 grand a month, doesn't really matter, to be honest. My goal is this, you know, okay, my goal is 10 grand a month, say 5 grand a month, whatever. How do you then reverse engineer a system? And it's all the same thing. If you have got something that works, so like the podcast marketing thing, you know, you've got something that works and it's making money, just turn it up slightly and then drop them into a bigger product. And if one's business lends itself to membership in some way, shape or form, then do that. You know, take whatever costs you've got and then just turn them sideways. Basically, and deliver it that way, and that works really well as well. You know.
I was thinking of developing a membership, but I think it's getting the online stuff and what I'm doing working. Otherwise, you're back in that, oh, let me do this and the next thing, and it's just focusing on getting, you know, one thing working at a time, I think. So
I think membership works as part of a system. Having a free membership, it's great, you know, to do that, and it's a good way to get in front of people and connect and all that kind of stuff, you know. But fundamentally, I think it's, if one wants to work 1 hour a day, traveling around the world, waking up with money in your pocket, then it's not membership. And I say it because membership takes time and effort.
Well, you see, because this is, I think that's where I always think it is that of when people say to you, kind of, this is what you should be doing, but off the back of that, one of my highest values is freedom. And I just don't see a membership as giving me freedom. So there's always this challenge going on. And I'm like, should I do it? Shan't I do it? And it's one of the reasons, you know, I trained as a Pilates instructor, and it's one of the reasons why I don't do it anymore, because that doesn't give me the freedom to just go away when I want, because then I have to think about my clients and my classes. And so, yeah,
I have strong internal resistance. And if I find myself heading, that's why for me, the most fun is the best.
Yeah.
Because my thing is just trying really, I do not believe we are here to work in any way, shape or form. I think that's, you know, you work to provide,
yeah,
you know, but fundamentally, if you're disorganized, it's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah.
So that's why I like systems. You know, in other ways I don't have systems. Do you know what I mean? I go and love hugging a tree and sitting where I'm not bothered. But with marketing, the only way you will get the freedom is by having systems.
Having that in place.
And you just need 4 or 5 different steps created correctly, and then be willing to manage them. And that's what a lot of business owners aren't willing to do. They're willing to, because if it doesn't work, you know, in the first month. So a lot of people spend money on Facebook ads and say, I've spent $20, it's not working. It's like, I've spent tens of thousands of money. And by no means has it every single one worked. But obviously over time you learn.
Yeah.
Like I know with those webinar templates, I'm going to make money out of them in whatever niche, come rain or shine.
Yeah.
But I only know that because I've added them into so many things. Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. So have you got any questions?
No, I think that's pretty much covered it. And it's just getting those, I think, like I said, I've got my main kind of online program that I'm doing, and then it's just working, I think, some upsells and downsells from that.
Is it a product, you mean, your main? You've got a product
so it's a self-paced nutrition, well, kind of lifestyle, so holistic online course. So I created it because I ended up obviously with clients who can't afford to see me one-to-one. So I created that. First of all, I mean, I created it as an add-on to my one-to-one clients. And I was like, okay, well, then I can sell this as a standalone product. So it's that. But then I was thinking about kind of doing a standalone upsell for like meal plans, meditation and mindfulness, hypnotherapy tracks that can be sold as, you know, individual as an upsell. Well, if you buy this now, then you get these hypnotherapy tracks as part of that. And that was
the best way I think of upsells is, one is, if they buy this thing, what other problems do they have? So for instance, if somebody buys like the podcast marketing thing, so they know how to set up a podcast, but actually they don't know how to convert that into clients. So that's what the webinar template. So they've left with another problem after they bought it. Okay, they buy this thing, and then they go, okay, oh, well, yeah, I can now do a podcast, but how do we get clients out of my podcast? So the upsell is the, if I'm explaining it correctly, the upsell is the
solving the next problem
they face, having bought your product. And that's the best way to think about it. So if we sell a book to somebody who's short-sighted, and we know they're short-sighted or long-sighted, and say, okay, now you've got the book, but you can't read it. Okay, do you want a pair of glasses? And if you want a pair of glasses, do you want a glasses cleaner? Because you want to make sure your glasses are clean. They're the best upsells. And on the upsell and downsell pages, that's what you say. Hey, now you've got this, you know, experience has taught me that you're going to face this next. Do you want this? And do you want this? And they are and
that's kind of like the no-brainer, isn't it? Because someone doesn't even have to think about it. They're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'll just put that in.
If somebody has to think about an upsell or a downsell, you've lost it. But 30% at least, 30% of people should buy the upsell and all the downsell. So what's your product? The main one, it's a nutritional guide.
So basically it started off as kind of like a 14-day program of just helping people understand where they were falling down on their nutrition. I think there's so much advice out there, and you know, everyone goes, oh, if you've got health issues, you need to take these supplements and those supplements, and it's just a guide on that kind of like the sleep, all of those kind of things, but just the basics. And I think most people find is that they don't realize, as you know, how much your stress impacts your health. So people start to address their health, and then they realize that stress is a big component. So that's why I thought the upsell would then be the hypnotherapy to address the stress.
Yeah.
So that was where I was going with that. And then some people like to be told, okay, tell me what to eat and when to eat it. So that was kind of where the meal plan then came in, more of a downsell, not an upsell, is just something small that doesn't cost a lot, just to add into that as well.
Yeah. No, sounds perfect. But I mean, the main thing is also make sure you mention it in your product.
Yes.
So you mention text about we can't cover it in this product at this low price, but you might recognize that stress is such an issue. So they kind of read that in the sales page, and then they go, oh look, I can get a stress management thing. Because it's like a weight loss thing is you can help people lose weight. It's losing weight and keeping it off.
Yeah.
And it's the keeping it off bit is the upsell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's easy to think about it.
Yeah. And then obviously throughout the program, I've got like exactly that, is that we can't cover this in the program. If you need support, then book in a one-to-one call with me. So that's then leading some people obviously to then work with me one-to-one once they've realized the value that they're getting from a smaller program, that the one-to-one would benefit them. So
exactly. What people do like is ongoing support. And so we did a product a while ago where the ongoing support was actually a Monday and a Friday email, which went out on automation. So it got like 4 months, 3 months, a quarter, 3 months worth of support via email and reminders. And that was added a bonus in, and that did make a difference in sales, and that people didn't feel alone. So they're buying this thing, but you also get 3 months email support. And what we mean by that is every Monday and a Friday, you're going to get a tip and something to focus to keep you on the program. And if I was split testing a page doing your stuff, I say that would increase the conversions. Because then it's a 3-month program.
Yeah, because I've offered email support, but not actually thought about doing it that way. And that actually making sure that those emails go out to them. What I obviously in my own world was thinking, well, if they need support, they'll email me. But that makes more sense because people won't reach out and ask for help, will they? But actually setting out was actually they need these steps as they go through.
Yeah. And also, you can also, if you've got any videos or Alopedia, whatever it is, on YouTube or wherever, or Instagram, whatever, one email might be, hey, if you're struggling, come and connect with me up on Instagram. I've got a great thing on how to refocus if you lose your way or whatever. And you just send them a link to that post.
Yeah.
That's support. But you just
that makes sense, because I was putting it, I've done some Instagram or some YouTube shorts, and I put them in the program, but that makes more sense to email them out. Thank you. That's as the email support.
So, because email support in that way couldn't really be 6 months. That feels like stretching.
No. Yeah.
But 3 months, 90 days.
3 months is
90 days. You go, okay, this is now a 90-day program. And what you also get to do, if you're going to take the automation a little bit more, whatever, is you would in your email, you would segment off the people that didn't buy the upsell.
Yeah.
And that you would sell them again the upsell within those emails that then go out, which means you're also making money on the back, more money on the back end as well. So at the bottom of your signature in the email would be, hey, if you haven't got my upsells not my upsells, you haven't got my whatever thing, people find these useful, why don't you go and check it out?
Yeah.
And you send them to another page, so because that becomes a little standalone product as well.
Yeah.
And that means you get paid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if between 10 and 30% of people take the upsell, that means you've got 70%, 80% on average who have. So, but they're all going to get those emails. So, you just type. Do you use an autoresponder? An email autoresponder?
Yeah.
Who do you use?
So I've been using I've just started using another it's called Thunderbird.
Oh, right.
So
is that an autoresponder, but that's more of an email client, isn't it?
yeah, more of an email client, not a specific autoresponder.
Yeah, I would use, if I were you, because it's free to start. And is MailerLite.
Okay.
And MailerLite is very good, very intuitive. It's not expensive, even if you do pay, but you wouldn't have to pay anyway because it's free. And then you can set up all the automations within there, and then
yeah, I've got, oh, sorry, yeah, I've got the automations through Kartra. I use Kartra.
okay,
yeah, so I've got all that set up.
Yeah. So that's just what you set up. Make sure the funnel split test pages and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I think the upsells, because I had 2 tiers price wise for the program, but I think actually the upsell would work better than having the tiered pricing.
Yeah, tiered pricing confuses people.
Yeah.
And confused people don't buy.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
I remind myself of it all the time.
Yeah.
You're much better off kind of losing the kind of the opportunity
Yeah.
to have all these different levels and all this kind of stuff. Just this, it's just this. You'll go, oh, good, because everyone's overwhelmed and pissed off with complexity anyway. So,
yeah, I know, and that's it. And because I had 2 different tiers because I was part of a one of those kind of business building lists. So I'd lowered the price for that because I'd agreed to do it for that bundle. So I had 2 different links to the page, but I think the upsell would work better because then if you agree even in a business bundle that it's going to be something worth $47, the upsell is still the upsell, so you're not selling for more than 47, but you can still get that additional fund, the additional funds coming in. So that makes much more sense.
Yeah, and of course, every digital product you have, you can then email out separately. But as long as in your email autoresponder, you can segment people.
Yeah,
people who, so if they bought already, obviously, but you could do a special every 2 weeks. You do a special offer to people who haven't bought at some kind of time-based price, 24 hours. I do subscribers offers. So if we come up with a new product, I always do a week with subscriber offers, for new products. And if people buy them, they buy them. And it's always a lot cheaper. And it just puts a little bit of money in the bank,
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's where I would head with it. Maybe, put your main price up again.
Getting there. It's always good when you put it up and someone doesn't blink and they buy and you're like, oh, okay, then I need to put it up again. So
exactly. If they don't, I work with one of the guys I used to be in business with was a car salesman. He's actually in sales, but he said if there's not a little tear at the side of their eye, you're not charging enough. And I was okay. Yeah. If they don't kind of go, oh, they go, oh, really? But because then you can make an offer.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Well, it is just, it makes it easier when someone's like, you're like, oh, okay, why didn't I put my prices up like 6 months ago? So, but
I treat prices as flexible.
Yeah.
So I don't have a price. I don't have a price for my digital products, whatever. But if somebody wants to work, I often lower it if I want to work with them.
Yeah.
Which is, some people doesn't make sense. But I would much rather work with people I want to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. And the worst part is when you don't want to work with someone and you put the price up really high and then they go, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, why didn't I just say, no, this is not a good fit? But I mean, that's why I tend to do, a free like 15-minute call. Cause then I just say to people, okay, I don't think we'll be a fit and you need to work with someone else. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. I had to sack a client this week. I just not work with you. My life is just too precious.
Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna do that. And,
I
think every year I'll sack a couple of clients, which is a shame when they've already paid. But my usually it's because that we're just not compatible.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I think the challenge is, I mean, I mentor some other health and wellness professionals, and I always say to them, the problem with that is that if you're working with someone who it's not a good fit, they're not getting results, you're getting frustrated, and at the end of it, it's not the relationship's never going to end well. So rather end it earlier rather than later. So I always go with that philosophy. So
me too. How many summers have I got left? 25. And do you know what I mean? And I do not want to work one day with somebody that I don't want to work with. So,
I know. I had a lady who came to me for trauma release, and she's like, no, I need to keep talking through this and working through. And I was like, lady, you're not the right fit for me. I work with people to clear stuff, not to talk through it and reenact it and revisit it and go over it. I said, you need to find someone else. And she was like, okay, fine. So yeah,
good for you. Yeah, that's why I like NLP. And
yeah,
NLP is just like, all parts work.
yeah,
Or doing that kind of stuff. It just works really well.
yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay.
good. Thank you very much. That's been
Right.
really, really helpful. I really appreciate that. And I
Good,
shall
good,
look into all of that. I mean, it makes sense. And I like that, keeping it simple and easy makes life easy for all of us. So
there's there is just so much tech. There's never been as much. It's never been this good. You know what I mean? It's like, if one doesn't have a need to gain attention from social media, which some people do, if one doesn't, then use the tech.
Yeah.
But use the social media stuff just to build trust. Nothing else. And use the tech for everything else.
That's and it is, and well, it's finding the right tech to use as well, because again, there's so much of it out there, isn't there, that it's just finding the right stuff that works. So
but I mean for me, Facebook ads, having been running them since the start of Facebook ads, and I've done Twitter and I've done LinkedIn and Google, all that kind of stuff, but Facebook ads are just great. I mean, they take a bit of management, but once they're set up correctly and once they're done at low levels, you don't need a lot of time on them. It's only when you're spending, 3-5, well, grand a day maybe, or whatever, do you need huge ads account. Most of us do not need that. They just need to be set up correctly.
I like that. Simple and easy systems.
Simple and easy, like me.
Yes. Good. Thanks very much, David. That was really helpful, and hopefully it's helped everyone else. Our additional conversation has helped everyone else and sparked some ideas for everyone. So
no, that's it. Cool. All right. Okay. Brilliant. Well, let me know if you've got any questions. Have a lovely weekend, and everybody else, I'll see you in the group.
Take care.
All right then. Thank you. Bye. Bye, Kerry. Bye.